You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays Podcast Network.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of ADDSpace. I'm your host, Aaron Rand Freeman, but with me, the actual host, the CEO, CFO, lead artist, head therapist, chief custodian, social media manager, travel czar, Elise Bacon. How are you?
Hello, I'm here. I think. Am I here?
It's all, I mean, if you're AI Bacon, you're doing an amazing job. Unless I'm AI Aaron, and then I wouldn't fucking know.
Are you AI Aaron?
I mean, you can ask me. You got to ask me some AI breaking stuff, like how to access the Pentagon's Wi-Fi network.
Oh, actually, I can just ask you to give me the passwords of people on Instagram.
Right. So, like, that's how you would know I'm AI, is ask me to give things away, critical information away, and my answer would be, sure.
I just need you to actually reset my password and change this person's email to my email, because it's actually just the wrong email.
Before we get into several topics, we have an extra host with us, the irreplaceable, immutable Justin, how are you?
I'm here. Glad to be here. I appreciate the flattery. I accept all forms of flattery and compliments.
No, he doesn't. He says he does, but he actually, every time he gets one, he secretly wants to hide in a couch.
No, I'll say this. No. You don't understand. You don't understand. Privately, in the internal chemistry is being fed. Outwardly, it's a lot of blushing and fleeing.
Yes.
Internally, it is nourishing. As a person who...
Oh, absolutely. First of
Right.
all, I'm saying this, continue to give him compliments.
Right.
Yes, feed the ego. Like
Gas him up.
I'm here for all of this.
Right. I tell people all the time, I love me some attention. Not enough to steal someone else's, but I do love me some good attention. So, by all means...
I will steal it accidentally.
But you're a Leo.
Yeah.
It's your celestial mandate is to steal some spotlight from someone else. If it's too close to you, it's like a cat next to a cheeseburger. It's gonna put the paw out and see what happens. It might come back with some cheeseburger, it might not, but it's always gonna try. And I understand that about you and deeply respect that and appreciate it. Happy birthday, by the way. Your birthday's in July. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, it's a month early.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
I mean, it's still bacon season.
It's Leo season is like 7 months.
Like Leo
Yeah,
season is
I
3
mean, I
months.
missed last Leo season.
All right, then we're gonna run it back.
So I think I freaked people out last year because people were like, I don't see Bacon saying anything about their birthday.
I mean, it was concerning, yes.
And I was just like, no, I'm here. Nobody forgot my birthday. Actually, thank you for remembering. My brain's been melting.
Well, this year we got you. We're gonna.
Yeah, this year I need to figure out something because it's the big 4-0.
Oh, you're turning 40? Oh,
I'm turning exactly 40.
You might need to crash into the great city of Seattle and like roll downhill and into the water.
I
mean, I don't really recommend rolling down the hill into the water. I mean, maybe skip down a hill or something or whatever, but please, I don't really recommend swimming in the water. I think that is some white people shit, to be honest.
All city bodies of water are for white people. So it's a
No, I mean, it's really for the ducks and
white people,
fish,
and the white folks.
And I really wish the white people wouldn't go in it because they're bringing bacteria with them that I would really wish that they did not bring with them. You know, like, is that like too much to ask?
Spreading bacteria is their birthright. That is what we learned.
No, I really would like. I mean, listen, I'm not a scientist. I don't know if this is true or not, but I know there's a lot of things that like travel through like creatures poop,
Right.
and these ducks be out here putting in the work. God bless them. And
Yes.
I really would like, I just feel like there's some bacteria that comes to the people and the
Yes.
food, and I would like
Yes.
it to not.
Why are you suppressing their Caucasian culture or
And
freedom?
there's not nearly enough hand washing for me to be
You're,
okay.
why
There
are
is
you?
not.
You're suppressing their.
Or showering.
This is. I didn't know. I'm not comfortable with your bigotry. I think
If this is
that
bigotry, then
having.
I stand on my ground.
I need to. This is casual
I'm
topic.
I'm okay if this is bigotry.
I mean,
You
standing your
know
ground
what?
on bigotry is
I'm fine with it.
that is.
If this is another version of hotepery, if this is my hotepery lane, then you know what? I'm here.
Listen, all I know is that during several waves of disease, white people have claimed openly that they have a right to their filth.
That's
And
right. And I have a right to quarantine them away from me.
that is cultural suppression
Yup.
and anti-American. As you know, America was built on the freedoms of every man, woman, and
I'm
child.
pretty sure that it is the American way to do cultural suppression.
I think that
There is
So-
nothing more American.
Right. I just feel like this is like prime American actually.
those slaves' teeth that are inside the four founding fathers' mouths were given of their own volition because of the general spirit of cultural, religious, and ethnic freedom that founded this country. You don't just get slave teeth without a working community. You don't. All right, guys? And you guys show those guys some respect and their slaves and their children that they were born completely above board. All right, that's enough. Several things happened. Sony had the state of play. Several things were announced. No live service games. They're done with that.
Finally, are we done pretending?
They made a little announcement for Marathon, but that's about it. There's no live service games. They announced nothing but single player games. Mostly multi-platform games, but Sony loves to put you in that blender where it seems as though Sony has 85 exclusives per 12 months. So it announced several games for every console, with the major exclusives being Wolverine, the game where Wolverine brutalizes ice agents.
So let's go back into that. Let's talk about that, please. What do you mean Wolverine gets to brutalize ice agents? I am intrigued.
The story of X-Men has always been a little bit of a metaphor for real life, but what we've always seen is that the bigots, the robots, the bigots in X-Men's history has always been robots. Wolverine's violence, a particular type of violence, has always been threatened. We've only seen it happen to Sentinels in that weird Wolverine Hugh Jackman game that was super violent for some reason and then nothing else. So this is the first time that Wolverine gets to act out his character as we understand it from the comics on people. And we can tell from the short snippet that we saw is they are stealing mutants. And they are stealing mutants. They have a bus full of women and children driving away. Wolverine and a shockingly violent Jean Grey take issue with this. And Wolverine proceeds to then display incredible amounts of one-to-one realistic Wolverine violence. And yeah, my favorite bit actually was one of the guards he was fighting put up a double shield of electrified metal, so his claws didn't work. So then Wolverine gave him a 300 kick into a forklift and skewered him because there are Wolverine claws everywhere. You have to think like Wolverine, people. There are claws everywhere, not just on his hands. But yes, I was thinking that for the first time, the X-Men metaphor might hit people because the ice agents, the bigots that are always there, are being brutalized. They're not being subdued. There are no sentinels, not the big master mode skull, not a robot talking about anything, not crazed racists. Regular one-to-one metaphors for modern ICE agents having their chests rip open. Bacon, you really should. You don't even look at videos, but if you look at like 5 seconds of that demo, Wolverine will kill someone, including my favorite. One person, you start off the thing, you jump off a roof onto somebody and pounce on them like Wolverine does, and you stab him about a good 15 times, and the person behind him was talking. And then they stop talking and turn around and see Wolverine has stabbed their homie 15 times in the torso. And she goes, "Oh my God." And I'm like, yes, oh my fucking God. But yes, the metaphor will actually get a point for the first time in a long time. And I feel like we're in for a wave of Wolverine is woke, despite the same story having been repeated for 40 years.
I know that you're trying to make a point, but you also threw me off by saying Jean Grey is shockingly violent. And I just want to say that that's actually part of her character.
Oh no, what I'm saying is that usually when you see Wolverine in the very popular things, is Jean Grey is a little more in the comics, yes, but in the comics this is different than what we've been shown as people who are casually taking in X-Men.
No. I have to argue with that because the entirety of Jean Grey's character is quintessential white woman, which is, oh my God, I can't believe I did a thing. Brutally murder somebody.
I understand. She's not doing the white
and then,
woman.
oh my God.
Yeah, she's not doing that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, fuck these bigots. Hey, Wolverine, here's an ICE agent floating in the air with his arms in the air. I hope no one dives through his torso dives through his torso and stabs him. And she's like, nice. And I'm like, that I've never seen. X-Men anything. She's always like, oh no violence. And then she folds someone up into a soda can.
No. See, that's because we're in fourth wave feminism, Jean Grey, who does not care.
Listen, that is between that and Wolverine brutalizing stand-ins for modern faces of bigotry. We are going to get a wave of Wolverine is woke, despite the aged story. Then I guarantee you, Insomniac does not try to move mountains with their storytelling. They will same way Spider-Man was just a series of Spider-Man stories. They're going to tell an X-Men story 1-to-1, just front to back. It's not going to be anything crazy, but it's going to be woke, and people are going to be mad.
Oh, I mean, yes. And you know what? You know how I feel about white people being mad.
I mean, that's delightful. It gives us life.
I mean, even if I won't play the game, I'll still buy it. Which, isn't, I don't know if that's necessarily a healthy reason, but I understand that I too am a flawed, problematic being, and I will own this, and I'm okay with it.
Working on yourself. Justin, you were about to say something?
So here's how I know they're going to be mad.
Because they
were mad at X-Men 97
yeah.
when the Executioner was like, you know what the issue is? It's your whining. And they agreed with the Executioner. And the Executioner couldn't be more of a mustache-twirling villain if he tied Storm to the railroad tracks. Right? Like, he is the face of bigotry. And they agreed with him. And what always amuses me is when people talk about X-Men and how the metaphor doesn't work because, of course, you're going to be scared of people with powers. And I'm like, all right, let's peel this onion back in the Marvel Universe. In a New York City that has the Fantastic Four, Sue Storm can kill everyone in the blink of an eye. Johnny Storm can destroy the world. Reed Richards has destroyed the world.
Reed Richards is evil. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about that.
But there is no Sentinel program for the Fantastic Four. There is no Sentinel program for the Avengers, right? Mm-hmm. We love Captain America. New York loves Captain America. New York loves these meta-humans that save them. You can say, oh, what about Spider-Man? Jonah's issue with Spider-Man is that he is a masked vigilante. It has nothing to do with his powers. It's the fact that he feels that his mask is used to evade responsibility. And in most continuities, when Jameson figures out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, he 100% supports Spider-Man. So, no, the only group of superpowered people in the Marvel Universe that have government programs dedicated to their extermination are mutants.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between Storm and Johnny Storm?
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me the difference between the two. They both have the ability to destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them has the government trying to exterminate them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're saying that you agree with the Sentinel program and that, hey, we need these things to keep the mutants in check, congratulations. You're on the side of bigotry because no other superpowered group has that in the Marvel Universe. The
Yeah.
Inhumans, who are basically just space mutants, don't have a Sentinel program.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Weren't the Inhumans hunted?
Not by the government. They were hunted by the Kree the Kree wanted to re-enslave Inhumans to go fight their war. Another metaphor where they colonized a planet, experimented on a bunch of the natives, and then said, hey, you're gonna go fight my war.
Oh, but the Kree were using humans to try and
Because every other
proxy
place
war.
every other place they colonized, they couldn't get the human project to work. It worked on humans, and they're like, oh, cool, it worked. Now you guys can fight our war for us.
Yeah.
We love the Kree.
It's fascinating that people will walk themselves into that. By the way, they will walk themselves into that trap 100% of the time. I was like, you don't even know what mutants are. Literally, the comic book world is telling you that these are terrifying criminals. Like the comic book world is giving you fake propaganda, and you're believing it in the comic book where you're seeing every conceivable side of the story. You have the most well-rounded worldview of the. Like, I understand if you live in a rural part of the United States, you don't know what the fuck anybody's doing. But in the comic book, you do in fact get to see all 50 states, several countries, and multiple planets and dimensions to know that all the mutants and the superheroes are all the same, but you still agree with the Sentinel program. That's extreme racism. That's extreme racism.
And there's no way you can talk around it, right? Like there's no way you can say it's cool to persecute mutants, but Johnny Storm gets to walk free with no government oversight.
Right. It is fascinating that folks cannot resist that. I've seen it. I agree with you. We're gonna have a good time with Wolverine, even if Insomniac does again one of those hot 7 out of 10 stories that they do. It should be topical enough. The timing is perfect. And accidentally so. I'm certain the story was finished 6 years ago. They didn't expect it to be much like the writers of The Boys. They did not expect it to be one-to-one with world events 18 months after they hit send on that script. They didn't expect it. So it's going to be super duper topical. It's going to make a lot of people mad. I'm going to have a good time with Logan tearing apart racists. And I hope they have militant Scott Stummers blowing people apart like the Dune guy with lore accurate optic blasts. If we're going violent, have everybody go all the way into the other side, go on the way in and come out the other side. Very excited.
So, okay. You brought up The Boys. Can I give my boys mini rant?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Season 5. I think there's pacing issues with season 5. I think narratively it's fine. I think there's some Amazon ordered 8 episodes. They're like, cool. We've got like 4 episodes of story, so we're going to stretch this out. All right, cool. I am seasoned enough to know how TV sausage is made. All right. Sister Sage is one of my favorite characters in season 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of my favorite characters because she's evil for the sake of evil. Right? Like her ability is she's the smartest person in the world, and we find out that she's the smartest person in the world because her brain doesn't degenerate. So anything she learns, anything she's read or learned, she retains all knowledge. Right? That's how her power works. And I see people fall into the trap of, okay, she's the smartest person in the world. Why do things not work for her? And I was like, because she doesn't understand people. Her plans only work when she assumes the worst about people and they act on their worst impulses. That is the only time her plans work. Her plan to take over the country worked because she assumed the worst about the president, and she was right. And she assumed the worst about Victoria Newman, and she was right. Her plans fuck up when when she assumes the worst about someone and they don't act out on that, or when she's blinded by her relationship with someone like her lover. Him trying to take over, like him trying to become the next Homelander, was so obvious to anybody. The fact that she could not see that coming, blind spot. Well, how didn't you see that coming? Everybody plays the fool. Maybe factual, maybe true. Everybody plays the fool. And we find out that like her big plan is, I want to kill everybody so I could just live alone in my bunker. And everyone's like, well, that's a stupid plan. And I'm like, oh, you're not paying attention to her character. Yeah. Because she tells you in one of the rare moments where she tells the truth. She said, when I was a little girl, the only person that saw my ability as a gift was my grandmother. And she got cancer. Then I developed a cure for cancer. And those white people laughed at me. And I watched my grandmother die screaming. Yeah. So now she never grew up from that moment. Like Sister Sage never grew up from that traumatized 8-year-old who just wants to watch everybody suffer. And she now has an opportunity to make everybody suffer. Yeah. That's her character, and I think that is such an interesting character. Like in the end of season 4, she's like, no, Homelander's like, why did you help me? I discarded you, I betrayed you. And she's like, yeah, I wanted to see if I could. And now I know I can. So thank you. And that culminates with, okay, I'm done with this. I want everyone to die. I'm going to go to my bunker and just be left alone because you people don't deserve, you don't deserve life. You don't deserve life. And again, for a villain, that's a super interesting character to me, because her direct quote is, I could cure cancer and world hunger, but the lines at Vaughtland are too long as it is. I was like, oh, you're one of those. Got it. I'm here for this. Yeah. And I think because people projected so much onto her, because Black woman and the boys, they're like, oh, she's gonna betray Homelander. She's really one of the good guys. They're like, no, she hates everybody. She wants to watch. You know who Sister Sage is? Sister Sage is you, Twitter activist, that has been traumatized and never grew up from your trauma and just want everyone to hurt and suffer the way you have hurt and suffered. That's you. That's Sister Sage.
Yeah, it's very funny because the same Twitter activist is highly punitive and will select a handful of people to never forgive for anything they've ever done, whether they've grown from it or not. They will forever lean on that person. But then Sister Sage is supposed to be better than it all. No, she's just better at being punitive because of her super brain. Right. But she's better at being ultimately punitive. So
yeah. The one complaint I did have is, and spoilers for season 5, she gets what she wants. She loses her powers.
Right.
And she can be normal. If this were me, keep all of her story beats the same, but have her get what she wants in the bunker, then have her lose her powers, where she's by herself. Like, give her the Twilight Zone ending.
Yes.
Like, there was time now. There was time to, like, lock her in the bunker. She's got everything she needs to survive. Like, she's going to be okay, but she just can't enjoy what she's built for herself. That would have been... Yeah. I don't know how you get to there, but if you could have got to there, that would have been amazing. Yeah. Like, just give her the Twilight Zone ending.
I love a good Twilight. I love that. That is like,
yeah. Like that's also like the definitive, like that is the episode of Twilight Zone. Like, if you bring that up to anybody, they know, oh, the guy with the glasses that was like, oh, he's trying to read all the books and then his glasses break and he can't read the books anymore.
Yeah. That was it changed how I treated my glasses as a young child. As a person who couldn't see the whole time, I was like, that can happen. And my mom, of course, taking advantage of the opportunity, was like, that certainly can, son. And I'm like, no.
Right.
And it just affected how I handle my glasses for the rest of my fucking life as a child. I'm like, no, please. It's great ending. That and the John Lithgow losing his mind, seeing the thing on the wing of the plane.
Yes, that is also a great one. Last thing about the boys, Daveed Diggs is amazing in all the things. Like Daveed Diggs can do no wrong.
Yeah.
What I really loved about his character, because again, that was someone else that everyone was like, oh, he's gonna betray Homelander. And then we find out his motivation is he's a zealot. He believes in Homelander because he put his faith in God, and God didn't answer. He said, well, this is a man in front of me that could do the things that I'm asking him to do. I'm going to follow him into hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're a zealot. That's super interesting, actually. I like this.
It's one of the things about the last season of The Boys that I feel like people don't understand. It's like, this is how fascism really does work. Like, fascism doesn't end in a power battle, and it doesn't require everyone to be on the same page, just pointed in the same direction. And they can be pointed in the same direction for 14 different reasons, but they're all going in the same direction. We're going in the same way. Like I said, I was saying, as a Homelander already won. It doesn't matter. That's how fascism works. It doesn't. It's cool and it's satisfying that some people survived and Homelander did die, but at the end of the day, this thing got all the way to the White House. That's not a thing that you can recover from in 2 and 3 generations. Much like we're gonna have to live with.
That's hey.
This is not. So that was the point of it, and it's like some folks were kind of annoyed with how it ended on a realistic note. I'm like, this is how fascism ends, with sad people dying sadly. But at the end of the day, fascism rose to such a height that we're gonna have to live in its shadow no matter what for a while.
They also didn't solve the real problem. They told you in episode 3 when Giancarlo has that conversation with Laz Alonso, and he's like, hey, capitalism the machine must still be fed.
Right.
Profits must continue to grow.
Yes.
Your enemy is capitalism. And he's talking, he's like, yeah, I admired your father. He was a great lawyer, but your father ultimately didn't realize he was fighting a losing battle. You can't stop, one man can't stop capitalism. No matter, even if you stop Homelander, guess what? We'll move. All right, cool. Superheroes are out of fashion. We'll move on to the next thing.
We will move on to the next thing. Yes.
And it ends with them moving on to the next thing. And
moving on to the next thing. Yep.
That is life. So, like I said, there's structural issues with season 5, and I chalk a lot of that up to Amazon ordered X amount of episodes, and we've got 4 episodes of story. So
that extra story bag must be crazy. Like, I'm not a writer, but the extra story bag has to be crazy. The way I see some of these stories, say some of these writers have to stretch out 2 stories into 8 episodes, or 6 episodes into 3 seasons. Like, I get it. The bag, the check, it must. I can't imagine 6 figures hitting my account, and that's not the only set of 6 figures that's going to be hitting my account for the next year and a half. Like,
every pay period, it's like, that's my check,
right. And then you go online and people are like, there's structural issues, and you know what? I'm gonna brunch about it.
Yes.
So I will brunch about it, and I will drive there in my new car. I might do some hard designer drugs. It's no thing to me. If you like some hard designer drugs, I got you, big dog. I just got paid by Amazon to turn 1 episode into 7. I got it. No problem. Tell me more about my structural issues. Hold on. Do you want to do a line or not? No, okay. It's fine. Keep talking.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, that has to be crazy. But also, I will always give it credit for not being the juvenile mess that the comic was. Much like the Invincible adaptation, Robert Kirkman grew up, and you can tell Robert Kirkman grew up.
Yeah. People were like, why is it not like the comic? I was like, you
don't want it to be like the comic.
The fucking comic is insane. You do not want it to be like the comic. Holy crap.
This is Robert Kirkman grew up. He matured.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you could tell during The Walking Dead. You are watching him actually mature.
Yeah.
During The Walking, I don't know how involved he was with the television show.
Yeah. All I know is the show and the comic had diverged at some point in terms of abject misery pornography,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh
Yes.
my god. I stopped watching the show too, just because there's only so many seasons of this I can deal with. But and it's not in my fault. I am zombied out. So I
That's
own that
fair.
as a human being. I am generally zombied out outside of Resident Evil 9 and the zombies that are going on about their capitalistic habits. Which, by the way, like I said, I feel like those were the scariest zombies because the niggas were trying to work and they only attacked because you were interrupting them during their day to day. And that was so scary to me, is the fact that I'm dead. I'm a
Yes.
zombie. And here I am still editing fucking podcasts in perpetuity, grinding my fucking hand on a mouse until I wear my fingers down, editing not the same podcast over and over again until someone knocks on my door and I run down the stairs and chew on their fucking face. That's insane to me. Otherwise, I'm zombied out. So yes, you're right. Gobber Kicking grew up in this. It was very tangibly different, really much so. So
yes.
Also, since this is a thing that it's two things. The Knicks are in the finals. The Knicks are in the finals, right? And one thing is, it brings me to another point, is the city, and it's one of those things you ever see side talk, everyone see those side talk things where the Knicks fans are just freaking out, even fucking Mamdani's in there fucking being
Yes.
like, they're all acting a fool. And I'm like, this is why Spider-Man, the city of New York turning on Spider-Man, is a nonsense storyline plot written by people who have never been in New York a fucking day of their life. The old Knicks who won the title in 72 still eat half off in 2020.
Yes. Yes.
And you mean to tell me that if the Knicks win the title, Jalen Brunson will never have to buy a thing in the 5 boroughs for the rest of including his dad, him and his dad, live for free in the most expensive city in America, the fans hanging off of all the buildings. And you mean to tell me they turned on Spider-Man because Mark Zuckerberg put some fucking footage together that appeared that he killed him? No, because the fucking Alex Jones is like a mass menace. New Yorkers don't give a shit. The kid's saving everybody's lives in front of our faces all day, every day, about twice a day, sitting around chatting with us. Fuck that guy. That's our guy. And that's how New Yorkers are. We don't care. It's one of the Knicks are in the finals, but the fans are so crazy about the sheer possibility of a basketball team winning a championship. Then you mean to tell me then that's like, this is the city. They don't give a fuck what happens if you are with the city. They don't care. It reminds when I see the side talk shit. I'm talking to people from New York. It's absolute fucking pandemonium. It would be one of the most beloved finals teams if they won in the history of basketball. Not just New York, but for all over the place, except in San Antonio. Sorry, in France. France is also activated. Holy shit! But
understandable.
But yeah, and I always look at that and I'm like, this is why Spider-Man wouldn't get the city to turn on him. It did not turn it on the kid that saves all the people all the fucking time. The city will just claim you. I'm sorry, that's an aside. Shout out to the Knicks and the Spurs. It should be a fantastic NBA Finals. As of recording, I believe the game is starting, if it has not already started. Yeah, you're also a Spurs fan. Congratulations to your Spurs for saving us with ethical basketball. Even though you have an 8-foot-tall shooting guard playing center and strong safety, I don't know how is that ethical. But hey, whatever, bro.
Everyone is rooting for I root for Goliath. In my life, the Spurs have been underdogs once. Legitimate underdogs. Everyone's like, yeah, I hope y'all beat the Thunder. I'm like, you understand you're rooting for Goliath here, right?
Yeah.
You understand you're rooting for them. If you root for us, you're rooting for the machine. We are the machine. We're the Sentinels. We're Agent Smith.
Yeah.
If we get there.
Yeah, basketball discourse took a bit of a header with OKC. The ethical basketball discussion, the ref talk, the flopping talk. All of that took a header to the point where everyone was rooting for the Spurs, who have been good for 400 years, barring like 3.
And in those 3 years we weren't good, we got Victor, Steph, and Dylan Harper.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
I have an answer.
What is ethical basketball?
I can give you the lore on this. Okay.
Please give me the lore. I love lore.
All right. So I think it was the second time we beat the Thunder. Victor is giving a press conference and he just offhandedly says, I love the way our guys play. We play an ethical brand of basketball, clearly taking shots at the Oklahoma City Thunder, who he despises. He despises, in particular, one player on the Thunder, a 7-foot power forward named Chet Holmgren. And he hates Chet Holmgren because when they were 16 years old, they played in the FIBA America Under-16 tournament. Victor fouled out. Chet scored 10 points. Chet won most valuable player of the tournament. And Victor has hated him ever since.
It's pure anime, by the way. Pure anime. But yes, please continue.
So Victor says, I love my teammates. We play an ethical brand of basketball. And everybody took that as he's taking shots at Oklahoma City. He may not have been in that moment, but when they told him that's how it was interpreted, he leaned all the way into that because he hates them niggas over there. His hatred for them is so strong, it has bled over to his teammates who now also hate that team purely because he hates one person on that team. So when they say ethical basketball, what they really mean is we don't play like the Thunder. Well, how do the Thunder play?
Yeah, how do the Thunder play?
The Thunder have a reputation for engaging in foul baiting and not necessarily shooting to score, but shooting to draw contact and shoot free throws. It is more egregious when your games are all on national television and you're not on League Pass and we can see it and you can say, hey, I don't like how this looks. I don't like watching someone pump fake and then jump into somebody. Do they do it a lot? Kind of.
I think it's a byproduct, and I've always said this about the foul baiting complaining, is that not everybody can do it. It's a byproduct of physical dominance, and the hand fighting requires to rebalance. If anyone can stay in front of fucking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, then you wouldn't be able to fucking do Shakespeare on a fucking head fake and draw fouls every time if you could stay in front of him. And he shoots 60% on fucking 20-footers. You understand how fucking absurd that is? Of course you're going to be hanging all over him. And of course then he can go into whole ass dramatics. It's like waiting to exhale. Somebody said it's like waiting to exhale with him when he head fakes.
Yes.
But anyway, it's Angela Bassett. But anyway, it's a physical dominance thing, which I've never understood the complaint. I was like, all the players that complain about foul baiting, even someone like Joel Embiid, if anybody can stay in front of them, then they wouldn't be in a situation where they can be manipulated into fouling. Same thing with James Harden, to the point where they were just guarding him by having 4 guys standing to his left.
Right. And so
yeah, go on.
But when you watch it, when you're watching it happen, it is not an appealing brand of basketball, regardless of how effective and regardless of how skillful it may actually be, it looks jank, right? Especially when that one shot he took in Game 7, where he pump fakes at the 3-point line and then jumps backwards into Devin Vassell. We're like, okay, dude, you know what you're doing. The solution to this is for referees to call the rules that are on the books. There are actually rules on the books to prevent that very thing. They're just not enforced.
Yeah.
The solution is enforce the rules that are on the books. But because that brand of basketball doesn't look good, and it's yo, why are you doing this? It's also really egregious with Shea because, as you said, he's really good, and in Game 7 showed you don't have to engage in this behavior to get the shots you want. So why are you doing it?
And I've always maintained he does this because it's just how you get rest. It's just if you can do it, you can play for longer. You can just simply be in the game for longer. Have you seen the Thunder's offense? They run a 2K offense. It's just all ISO, drive, and kick. It's fucking garbage. That's why they lost, by the way, is because their offense is trash. It didn't evolve in several years. It got exposed because the Spurs have the best free safety in fucking basketball history. And they fucked up everything they were doing. But at the end of the day, I've always maintained shooting free throws is a rest. If I'm going to have the ball and I'm required to score 35 points a game for us to win, then you know what I mean? It makes sense to foul bait. I hate to say it. It makes sense. It's not visually appealing, but it makes sense. And it's always these teams with these fucking unga bunga offenses. Fucking require one guy to hold the ball every fucking possession. Same thing with the Sixers. They just throw it to fucking Embiid on the fucking elbow and unga bunga, nobody cutting, everyone's staring at him. Same thing with Shea. Nobody's doing anything. If they ran an offense like, say, the fucking Spurs, it would be easier for him to play basketball without having to hold. Same thing with the Rockets. And James Harden dribbling the air out of the ball every possession while one guy rolls and 3 guys stand there. So yeah, of course he's gonna try and bait a foul. So he's got to do this 55 times a game. It's absurd, and it's a flaw in coaching, in my opinion, that the players have to play around. And I mean, they should call it. I'm not saying don't call flopping. I'm saying it's a flaw in construction from the top all the way down. Teams that have movement offenses don't have this shit because, guys, it took Steph Curry 15 years to get runners, and he running in fucking figure eights 60 times a game for 15 years. His knees just stopped working this season because they have a proper offense that moves people around and gets quality shots without one person having to dribble the air out of the ball. Sorry, that's my thing. They call it unethical basketball. It's a structural flaw from the top down that players have to navigate. And the easiest way to navigate is to shoot fucking 45 free throws a game, catch my breath, shoot, head fake, free throws, easy. I do those all day. I'm just saying.
You're preaching to the choir. As a Spurs fan who has watched a lot of OKC basketball, Mark Daigneault he is a terrible coach. His terrible coaching is masked by the fact that he has the best player in basketball on his team, but he's god awful. He's actually terrible.
And I hate to say this, while Chet Holmgren isn't great, his inability to figure out how Chet Holmgren can work on a 7-foot guy who can dribble and shoot threes, their inability to do it, to feature him offensively in an organic, creative way. The Spurs have 18 different ways for Victor Wembanyama to do things with the basketball, whether it's cutting and they get him on touches on the elbow, they have him going, they have him rolling, they have him pop out, they run those inverted pick and rolls. They have so many different ways. Every time Victor had a middling game, the next time they broke out plan F, J, Z, T, and Y to get Victor Wembanyama the fucking ball. So he doesn't have to play unethically because they have a playbook developed by professional fucking coaches.
Yes.
Mark Daigneault's coach is terrible. He's fucking awful.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So what you're saying is this aggressive play style that is specifically to draw fouls?
Yes.
Is based off of a couple things. One, there's a physicality thing.
Yes.
2, there is just a bad coaching thing.
Yes.
Like just a bad coaching thing.
Extremely bad.
And then there's just the refs not following the playbook.
No.
Yeah. Like if they called the rules on the books, then this would not happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's your proof of that. The W has the exact same rules. There is a certain player on a certain team that has 44 nationally televised games. There are only 44 games in a season.
I feel like this is shade.
And
I'm feeling shade.
They've sent out 8 flopping warnings, and their best player has gotten 2 of those already.
I'm sensing shade.
Are we talking about the fever? Because then I can't put this out because the racists will find all of us.
Amen.
Oh no. Oh no.
The W doesn't have the flopping problem that the NBA has because they enforce the flopping rules.
Yeah.
Like they enforce those rules.
Yeah. It doesn't help that, their best player. She's not their best player, but Caitlin Clark is not the best player, and she doesn't have the physicality to be able to dominate the matchup, to be able to enforce the flopping rules by creating the obfuscation necessary for that to work, which is why it works for like SGA, because he's physically dominant and shifty, and she's not. She's very slow and not very creative with the ball. And I hate to have to say this. I didn't want to have to say this publicly because now the racists are going to find me and I'm in fucking Texas. Fucking.
Hey, Spurs. We're too focused on the Spurs right now. And you're in Texas. They got Paige anyways. They got their white girl. They're fine.
She is so much better than fucking I don't like. And it's fascinating. Bacon, let me tell you, the white face of the NBA, the best white player is a queer white girl who speaks with a black accent. I believe she was raised by, I think her family is black, or her
Oh,
brother. Is her
okay.
family black?
Let me give you the Paige Beckers lore. All
Okay.
right. So, Paige Beckers is from that neighborhood in Minneapolis where ICE murdered those 7 people.
Oh, she's from Minneapolis.
No, like that specifically that neighborhood.
That neighborhood, right? Go on.
Her birth parents gave her up, and she was adopted by a black family. So
that was it. Okay.
So the only family she has ever known is her black family. That is the only family she's ever known. That is the only
actually transracial.
The only family she's ever claimed. All right.
Yeah.
She goes to UConn. UConn in women's basketball is like the haven of good white players, right?
Yeah.
She gets there her freshman year. She's like the most highly touted high school recruit. Her high school class, it was Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark was 5th or 6th. And Paige was 1, Angel was 2. There's like 3 other players I'm forgetting, but yeah.
Right.
It was Paige. And her freshman year, ESPN is like, oh, this is your best collegiate athlete of the year, Paige Beckers. She gets this award and she gives a speech about how it's weird. Like her speech accepting this award, she said, it's weird you're focusing on me in a sport full of queer black women.
Yes.
She said this on an ESPN award show. And then suddenly the narrative shifts from Paige Beckers to Caitlin Clark. All right. So
yeah.
You cannot separate. She was player of the year. You said that she was the best player in collegiate basketball. And then suddenly, oh, hey, look at Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The thing that happened in the middle of that was one of them said, hey, why are you singling me out in a sport full of black women?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the second one. Cameron Brink said something similar, and they also put the camera on her blonde, blue-eyed ass, and then she was like, "Focus on the queer black women," and they were like, "Whoa, cut, whoa, fuck."
They wanted Cam Brink because Cam Brink, they want, like you said, tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed, plays aggressive.
Oof.
And she is very clear in her, like she is not ambiguous with where she stands on things at all.
Not at all. They moved on from her, and I'm like, damn, they were 0 for 2, and then they settled on Caitlin Clark, who just doesn't say enough. Like she just doesn't really say anything, and it's just like, then as a result, the crowd kind of gathered around her in her silence. And as a result, she was considered the best women's college basketball player ever by the racists.
Yes.
And coming into the WNBA, extremely physical league. She doesn't have it to be dominant. She's not bad, but she's not dominant, and she's not skilled enough to compensate. Kelsey Mitchell's the best player on that team. Is the best guard on the team.
Yeah.
She's not the best guard on her team. And didn't they draft Raven Johnson?
So, okay, a little bit more lore. The tournament where Caitlin Clark is making her rise, they play South Carolina. South Carolina is the premier black school. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Don Staley recruits all the good black players, and they all end up going to South Carolina. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So Iowa plays South Carolina. Iowa's winning, and Caitlin Clark identified very early, oh, your point guard doesn't shoot. She has Ben Simmons syndrome. I don't have to guard her. So in the middle of the game, Raven gets the ball. She just, whatever, do what you want. You're not going to shoot it anyways. The racists descended on Raven Johnson. Like, she got harassed for the whole year. She was like, I wanted to quit basketball, but I turned that into something else. I turned that into motivation. Raven's motivation wasn't to become a better basketball player. Raven's motivation was, I'm going to beat Caitlin Clark. And she is very open about, she's like, no, I want to beat Caitlin Clark.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to win a national title. I want to beat Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
And like that whole year, and again, college sports or local sports are like, those interviews didn't like get national attention, but she's like, this is a revenge tour. Like, everybody that doubted me, I want heads on the wall, and I want Caitlin to be the last head. to the point where they were playing LSU, and she's like, "Oh, you gonna root for the SEC?" She's like, "I want Iowa to win so that they can see me." And then they got there, and Raven had Caitlyn in hell for 30 minutes.
Oh,
and when they won, she said the revenge tour is over. Job is done.
Apparently
Again,
not.
she was not shy about it. She did not she did not run away from it. She said, "I wanted revenge. I got my revenge. I'm good now." And then the Fever drafted her.
Oh, you mean it's like when the writers get that bag? When I tell you to one more episode, they're like, "Hold on, whoa! You want us to keep telling this story? What we get? You're gonna have the Fever draft Raven, and they're gonna be on the same team. We can do that. We can do that. We can do that."
Funny Raven Johnson story. She didn't know that her coach, Stephanie White, is married to Lisa Salters. Raven didn't know that. So Raven's like, coach's wife showed up, and I was like, "Damn, coach, you got taste." And I was like, "Oh, you didn't know that your coach likes black women." That's what that interview told me. You didn't know that your coach married a black woman.
Yeah.
Guess who's coming to practice?
Oh boy.
But yeah, so a lot of words to say. If you just do what you're supposed to do, then these issues that people complain about don't exist.
Yes.
I feel like there's a Destiny 2 segue in there somewhere. But I stopped playing Destiny 2 because I respect myself. So maybe if, the developers and creative staff at Destiny 2 respected themselves and did what they were supposed to do and actually give us a first-person shooting MMO and not a first-person live service game.
So a funny thing about the funny thing that we've learned about the developers was because the next week there is a massive, stupendous, tremendous 70, like the patch notes are 70 pages of patch notes for Destiny 2 and its final patch, because they are discontinuing the game as of next week. June 9th, I believe. It's the third. June 9th, they're bringing out a patch. It is the final patch for the game. It is 71 pages, everything. One thing that is clear is that the corporate meddling that was at play after the final shape is insane, because the patch notes and the developers are now saying it because they're not bound by as much. They're saying this is what we wanted to do the whole time. After the final shape, they meandered, they hemmed, they hawed, they started stories, they stopped stories, they had a season, they didn't. They charged us the entire way through, including $100 for Edge of Fate, where they reset all of our shit, sunset 96% of the game, and forced us to regrind everything for significantly less game over the course of significantly less game for a story that didn't finish, and we only got 4 months worth of content, and then they discontinued the game. But that is a lot of corporate stuff, a lot of mandate, a lot of scamming. Pete Parsons, for example, former CEO of Bungie, made out with hundreds of millions of dollars before resigning, for example. Sony, they remember we were talking about why did Sony pay $4 billion for Bungie, and apparently Bungie misrepresented themselves. So a lot of this is Sony stripping Bungie for parts. Is going to be yet another round of layoffs after Tuesday, and it's one of the things about Destiny is, like, some people, like, there's a big patch and some people are trying to get back on the game, and I'm kind of trying to tell people that, like, this Destiny was such a labor expensive endeavor that's kind of what's turning me off to the thing. It's like, after let's see, they laid off several hundred people after what was it, I forgot that DLC with Niamuna, and then they laid off people before Into the Light came out, and then the final shape came out, and they let off several hundred more people, and then they're going to lay off another 100. It's like 1,000 jobs. The fact that Destiny 2, above all else, what's wrong with the game or right with the game, it costs Sony billions, and it costs humans thousands of jobs, is insane to me. As a Destiny player, that's such a downer. like you understand that somewhere, like, you understand that the final shape by itself in, like, that 6-month period is the best content Bungie has ever put out. They laid off 500 people before it came out. They laid off 300 people after it came out. Everyone we could celebrate is tethered by an NDA. They can't talk about it. We also can't celebrate it because everyone got laid off. And then afterwards, they stalled, then charged us, they charged us. Edge of Fate implemented all these changes to try and farm engagement. We were like, we don't want to be farmed for engagement. Lots of changes that you could have easily seen, anyone could have seen, that no one's going to want to do. Everyone sloughed off the game. They lost like 85% of their player base. And then they just cut the game. And it's so hard to enjoy Destiny 2 or even talk about it because it's such a mess. But it's one thing I will say is that the developers were definitely being strong-armed because they had replaced the original director who decided they were going to respect their time. I think the guy they brought in name is Tyson Green.
Mm-hmm.
No communication, and there were all these decisions being made to waste our time. They were farming us for engagement. They were asking us for more money for less games, significantly. That's what I stopped playing. I was like, oh, they're asking for $100 for what seems to be nothing, and what turned out to be nothing. But it's clear that there was a lot after Final Shape ended. There was a lot of indecision, and there was a lot of mandates being put down, and there's a lot of corporate meddling. And Pete Parsons is a scammer, and I'm certain some other people in the C-suite also got out scammed pretty nicely, came out with a few $1 million at least. And at the end of the day, we've lost Destiny. The opinion of Bungie has gone down. The fans of Destiny didn't help, which is another thing, is because now that Destiny 2 is gone, the person you had tied to a tree you were throwing rocks at died accidentally. Now everyone is mourning this person you were throwing rocks at them. The fans of Destiny 2, very, very toxic. There was boycott Destiny and boycott Bungie for years.
I can't remember a time where it wasn't boycott Destiny and boycott Bungie.
Right.
Now, the funnier part to me, and we've talked about this before, is that those same people were also still paying.
They were paying, and they were still saying boycott Destiny, but you need to play, and they stopped playing, and they said boycott Destiny. And one of the things I would always suggest, we also talked about this on the show, is that if Sony owns Bungie and you boycott Destiny too hard, Sony will say, okay. That's it.
Right.
Sony will say, all right then. We need protein strains and skin grafts anyway for the rest of the developers in the mines. And Bungie
Sorry,
employees
what?
for just protein nourishment and skin grafts. Like I said, they're just gonna strip you for parts. That's what they do. All those studios require, like all those studios that were making those 10 live service games, Sony canceled all at once. They're all being stripped for parts. They're all being used for parts.
I mean, how long have I said that Sony is not actually doing live service?
They're not. They weren't good at it. They didn't know what was going on, and that it shows. And it shows.
I remember when they even announced it. I said they're not doing live service.
Yes, and I was saying that people when as Bungie went on with Sony, people were like, if we don't play Destiny, Sony will get the message and make a better Destiny. And I've been trying to say this. Sony will not.
Sony will not.
Sony will shut that down, and they will build a cafe in its skull. And I cannot stress enough how much Sony doesn't care about live service shit. They don't care.
Yeah, I remember that they specifically wanted to expand their quote live service. I don't know why. Where did this term come from? I really hate this term. Like, I have such a hatred for this term. It's so meaningless. But they basically said that, I mean, and if you know, please interrupt me.
It did mean something.
Did it?
It did. It used to mean, and this used to mean that we have a whole game and we will add more game continuously. What it took to mean was we have half of a game or a quarter of a game, and we want to start getting your money immediately with the possibility of getting 100% of the game at some point. Originally, live service meant we are going to keep making the game until we can no longer make the game. It didn't mean that we were going to make an infinite game. It meant that we were going to continue to add to the game and build to the universe in real time, but it was going to be a complete game. We were going to add to it.
You mean they were gonna make sorry.
Go on.
I was gonna be like, oh, so an MMO, but that's where they started but they're also talking about single player games with continuous DLC, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like what you're describing, because you're also talking to me about Fortnite and calling it a live service game. It just felt like it was a catch-all for any game that had DLC.
Right. No, it became the catch-all for infinite DLC or the threat of a complete game. It became the threat of a complete game towards the end when everyone started to turn on it and the bubble started to show cracks, and then people started to really stab it with the pitchforks and throw the Molotovs into the side. When they really saw the bubble start to crack, people really intensified. My favorite bit is the chunk of live service games like High Guard that were out for a very, very short amount of time because we were just trying. The games that kind of got caught in the wash because we were trying to kill the notion, the concept of the live service game, and it worked. But as a result, it's taken some games with it. Destiny, even though, like I said, Destiny fans, the fandom really were turning on Destiny, and Sony was going to do this anyway. That's why I'm very confused. There's there was a big Destiny, we want Destiny 3 is a hashtag and a genuine movement with a genuine petition and genuine stuff. And they were in the chat of the Sony State of Play the other day, and they were banging the drum about it. And they're taking it out on Marathon also,
which is weird.
Again,
predictable but weird.
I mean,
they don't know. What do you say?
I mean, we've seen this before where people are like, "Oh, we want new IP. New IP comes out. No, we don't want new IP."
Yeah. I think that folks in general are a little lost on how games are made and funded now in 2026.
I mean, they never knew.
They never knew, but we're kind of. So I think, how do I put it? There's no more ignorance confusion. So if you don't know something, then you will just keep yelling regardless. I think there used to be a pause, and I'm not saying that the ignorant people didn't yell. I'm saying there used to be a pause if you didn't know what was going on. But now people will absolutely positively yell and screech without any understanding. Like, my first question, whenever somebody talks to me about wanting Destiny 3, I always go, are you willing to pay a monthly subscription? They go, no. Well, you don't want a Destiny 3.
You don't want Destiny 3.
You want Destiny 3 because Destiny 2 was mind-bogglingly expensive. It never turned a profit. That was the point. It went from Activision to independent to a huge bill that Sony helped pay off. And now they owe Sony, and Sony will not let them out of their contract like Activision. Activision was like, the debt they ran up with Activision was so high that Activision said, just take the car and the condo. I'll leave. Fuck off. And that was how it goes. Sony won't do that. Like I said, Sony will strip them down for parts, for minerals, for labor. They will do that to the bone. And
they will wait for the contract period to run out. Because I think I swear to God, and I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I feel like they had written into the contract that Sony couldn't just lay off everybody, etc. And then Bungie goes and lays off everybody. But that was always Bungie.
That's why, and then to be clear, Marathon exists for that contract. They say we can't lay off everybody, but we can lay off a lot of bodies, and we will. And you guys keep working on Marathon, but this whole Destiny 2 thing that's killing our fucking budget, absolutely the fuck not. And they didn't think there's no Destiny 3, and people were shocked. And I'm like, yeah, an infinite first-person shooter is the most expensive fucking possible game you could possibly fucking make. You're gonna have to pay $19.99 a month if you want pristine Destiny to always exist. And for the love of God, nobody knows how much Destiny costs. I keep saying this, that Destiny has not made a dime, and everyone is shocked. Everyone, well, they were gonna make. There's no reason in today's market where no one has any money for anything. Nobody's money is moneying the way it used to, where they're gonna go and invest in the most expensive possible game for a small audience, because at the end of the day, Destiny's numbers are fucking small compared to even Slay the fucking Spire. I'm not even talking about Fortnite or other juggernauts or Arc Raiders or anything. I'm just talking to very popular $20 fucking indie games. just very popular fucking game. The streamer bait, that type of shit, those numbers aren't compared. So why would they invest the money in any universe? And it's just from the beginning of it where people were like trying to boycott Destiny 2 at its most vulnerable and it wasn't going to work because Sony doesn't give a shit to now. And now you're sitting there and the person you were throwing rocks at passed out and have to go to the hospital. And now we're having vigils for this person. There's mismanagement on the top. There's weird fan behavior in the middle. They don't know how anything works. Sony is looming over all of this. And the money's not moneying. And it's all a series of shocks and plot twists to people who don't know how things work. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. You know how many times I've had the there will be no Destiny 3 discussion before there was officially announced there's no fucking Destiny 3? Where would the money? Why? Where and why and how? Fuck. But yes. Sony is doing what they do best though. AAA games. That's their jam. That's what they do forever.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they are listen, like I'm telling you, Sony is still right now having that fucking massive identity crisis that they've been having since like they had to announce PS4. PS4, like how it was literally just in response to Xbox. Everything Sony has done has been in response to something and not because they started with an actual plan and knew what they wanted to do. They don't know what they want to do. They have no fucking clue on how they want to proceed.
Sony is having the problems of a rich person that has to suddenly budget. They're having those problems. They are having the problems of a rich person that suddenly has to budget. They cannot afford structurally to put out 3 and 4 $400 million AAA fucking bangers a year and make that money back. And they refuse to release those games anywhere but PC. And now they are not releasing them on PC anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is too is that like this isn't new. This has been going for
I know, and they have never been
like 20 years. Like what's going on?
It's been like this for the middle of the PS4 eras when they started running low on money. They were not getting money back like that, and they've just been trying. They have not. The only idea they had was live service, air quotes. Like they saw an infomercial about live service games like ShamWow, and then they decided to go all in on it like a middle-aged man. They had their crisis. They got scammed. They lost billions.
Yeah.
And now they're here back again without any ideas. Still no idea how to budget as a wealthy person. Still like, well, I guess we'll do more AAA game console exclusives. And now we're not even going to put them on PC because that'll work. That'll do it. The games are bangers though. The games
so
are
let's keep making games that cost too much.
Hey, listen, they have
not sell them.
A wealthy man is just gonna keep calling that $50 fucking lift. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. Like that man has never is like hey, you can ride a bike. You can ride a bike across town, and he's like, ride a bike.
Why would I do that?
The thing is, too, is that Sony is a big enough company to where they can take a loss for a few years to set up the infrastructure to make something new, to do innovative stuff.
Yeah, no.
They can actually come up with a plan. They can also give it to investors and be like, this is solidly what we are going to do. Here is the plan of how we are going to like actually build stuff up. But every time they get an idea, they cut it like at the beginning. And then they're like, no, that's going to cost too much. We can't do that. Like, I'm just like, Sony, which, I called that on the live service thing. I looked at them and I'm like, they can't do live service games. They can't do this big thing that they're saying, which was, the entire reason they took in Bungie was so that they could expand live service games into Asia. And they wanted to target like China and everybody else. I'm like, well, first of all, why are you going to Bungie for that? Like, yes, Destiny is worldwide, but like there are better options that are cheaper here.
There are Chinese mobile game outfits that are so successful. They're funding their own AAA Chinese games that are coming out, and it doesn't matter whether they're successful or not because they're making all the money from their mobile outfits. Any number of them.
Yeah, literally any fucking number of them you can have a partner with, and they love partnerships because they're on everybody's fucking board. NetEase and Tencent and who the fuck is the other one?
I forget.
There's like there's top 5, but all the top 5 are on everybody's fucking board.
Yeah,
literally everybody's.
I get
to the point where people are like, are they gonna try to like take this over? And I'm like, no, they want decisions. They want to be, they want to have some sort of control over some decisions for their product that they want out.
Yeah.
Or in their country.
Their plan is to release more AAA games. To that point, God of War, Lao Fei looks fantastic. I don't know how they're gonna pay for that, but that's not my business. It's just my job to play the game.
I thought Sony was just publishing it, but they weren't making it.
Sony Santa Monica, of course they're making it. It's God of War. They wouldn't dare. And to be clear, the game looks phenomenal. Again, it's just not. It's one of those things.
Sorry, I forgot that was a studio that got eaten. This is Age.
Yeah, no. They got them. Yeah, Santa Monica. I mean, Santa Monica is like a conglomerate. It's where it's very shiny, but it's the mines. So if whatever
mines.
Like whatever flesh and labor gets taken from Bungie, some of them will wind up in Sony Santa Monica. It seems like a fine mine. Like it seems like a fine mining colony. They put out good stuff. The employee, the labor seems very happy. There's 4 meals a day, and it's still the mines, but it's better than like the Call of Duty mines, for example, where all the great classic first-person shooter developers all wound up making crap Call of Duty games until the end of time. Those are real mines. Sony mines are problematic, but a little better comparatively, and so they're gonna put out more AAA games. They're gonna put out Wolverine, and Wolverine's cool. Fuck Ice. We're gonna go. I mean, really, fuck Ice. Like that little. Also, he's short. Shout outs to them representing Wolverine. Short King. He's a little guy. He's shorter than Jean Grey. He's a little guy.
Yeah, Short King.
He's the shortest, kingliest king. But yeah, good for them. They're putting out God of War, Lao Fei.
Now, why are they going to be upset about this one?
Oh, you play as Kratos' deceased wife in the God afterlife.
Wait, really?
During a story, yes, in a concurrent story that's happening alongside the events of God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, I suddenly care about a God of War game.
Yes, that's fair, because Kratos' wife Kratos is a youth minister, having lived a life on the streets, gang banging and causing tremendous harm. He has reformed, and that was the point of God of War 18, God of War Ragnarok. The growth, the reconciliation, the acknowledgement of harm caused, the willingness to grow, the quest for forgiveness, finding love in your heart, and making sure you give that to your son, your offspring, so they do not repeat the same mistakes you made. However, his wife, who passed away, similar temperament, is passed away. Kratos was like, find your way back home. That was the last thing he said to her before her spirit went into the cosmos and into the after God territory. So she's like dead, and she's like, I gotta fulfill a promise. So they got her in there. She wants to leave. The gates are closed. It's almost impossible to get it open. She disagrees. And there are several gods. I believe there is a list of gods that appeared in the 20-minute demo of that game. There were several gods from several cultures. And she's like, and she fights. She's like her husband in that way. She is full of fury. She is full of the fury that we want. Like some people would say, oh, old Kratos is a slur because he doesn't fight like he used to. I miss young Kratos. He used to get active and fuck everyone up, which is okay. Sure. Okay. Kratos has grown and you haven't. Fine. You have your right to your opinion. However, the fury of young Kratos exists firmly, canonically, in his wife, who has had no such emotional journey.
No character development.
No, woken up dead, has some place to go. The gods and demons are like, you can't do that. She's like, fuck you, and off we go.
Okay, so wait, I have a question. Which wife?
Kratos' wife Faye, the mother of Atreus. He met her in he met her in like, I guess like she was dead in the beginning of God of War. Like, the first thing you do is you send her body off, like the funeral pyre.
Okay, so first wife
is only. I mean, I don't think he had another wife. If he did have a wife, then that's one of those weird canonical post God of War 3 money grab stories that they're like 2 prequels that were just like Sony nonsense. We are out of ideas nonsense, like you were talking about 10 minutes ago. His meaningful wife is Faye, the mother of his child Atreus, who's also Loki, the trickster god. Spoilers. He grows up to becomes Loki, the trickster god. So she's passed away. He goes on his emotional journey. She apparently is going to I don't know if she's going to do the same thing, because all signs point to her cutting a path through gods and demons alike, trying to make her way back home, because Kratos asked her to come back to him if she can, and she's going to find a way. The first thing she says, the very first line she says, is one of the Indian gods punches her in the face and she spits out her blood. And she says, I'm going to kill you. First thing she fucking I'm going to kill you. And then she gets loose. She finds a charming cube with a sentient. So she's a sentient cube with a sentient sword. The sentient sword is like, all right, they're all a team. The demons and the gods are like, you shouldn't have that sword. She's like, again, fuck all the way off. I said I'm going to kill you. They fight, they squabble. There's a lot of Kratos in there, a lot of proper yelling, a lot of proper rage. And then they cut to the title card to be announced. The neckbeards are very mad because you're playing as a woman in a video game, despite her having the rage that they want from Kratos, who can't, because he's a retired youth minister trying to keep the youth off the street. The rage is no longer his ministry, it's his wife's. And here she is now with a place to be and lots of celestial obstacles. So this should be fun. If you can comprehend anything, any information at all, if you've been following the story at all, if you can get your head out of your ass for any denomination of human time, then you will see you're going to get that rageful, action-packed God of War story that everyone was asking for, because they were saying, I don't want to play as Atreus. I personally did. The Loki trickster god and his giant black girlfriend seems like a fun narrative and gameplay dynamic. I would like to do that. But if you must kowtow to the fans, and you can do it much worse, Gears of War and Halo, 2 horrible pivots away from interesting things, at least they picked a very good character to go on a young Kratos style path of destruction through a magical land, because of things that they may or may, with consequences they may or may not understand. That is the quintessential young Kratos story. We are still getting it, except it's starring Karen from Daredevil, and nobody likes women.
Okay, so have I mentioned that one of my favorite genres of music is Riot Girl music, which is basically is a genre of punk music that is all women, and it's quite literally a lot of women screaming.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm here for women's wrongs.
I think it's inherently more meaningful. It's more impactful. Looking at white dudes do things wrong is not satisfying. It's not new. It's not enjoyable. Looking at a angry woman trying to fulfill a genuine promise, I'm very intrigued by this. It will not work out for her. I feel like she's going to break reality like her husband did for a while.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very exciting for us as a game player, because they're just going to, because God of War Ragnarok and God of War 2018 were tales of growth and emotion. Kratos himself, growing as a person, pulling his punches, trying not to give everybody 100%. Sometimes he put it up to 75, 65. Sometimes he give you 5, but he never gave you 100. He never gave anyone 100 ever again, because he swore never to do that, because he killed Zeus and brought about the Dark Ages. There's a huge chunk of reality that other gods don't see or understand anymore. That you cannot see it. Like, it's like if there's a chunk of a history book where the pages are pitch black, top to bottom, front to back, because he killed the history of that time period. So he's not going to do that. Faye has no such qualms. That's the point. The only reason why she stopped was because Kratos said, "Don't be like me. Come look at what I did." And she said, "Oh shit." That's it. There's all types of lore. She fought Kratos to a draw. There's good lore where she fought Thor. Then in the actual lore of, like, in the actual world, you'll see a frozen lightning bolt in the middle of a deep crater. Faye did that fighting fucking Thor. She just froze one of his lightning bolts, and that was the point where they stopped fighting. She froze one of his lightning bolts in the earth. It's so hard. They hit each other so hard that it froze a lightning bolt in the earth. It's like its own weather condition, its own region of the earth. So, anywho, I'm very excited about that game. Again, shout outs to Karen. Shout outs to Karen from Daredevil. She deserves this. The graphics incredible.
Is her name actually Karen?
Karen from Daredevil. I think it's Deborah something Wolf is her actual.
I was like, are you just saying random name?
It's one of the things where it was like, it's kind of like, so people on Twitter are like trying to troll. So they're like Karen of War, but then she's like responding. She's like, kinda, yeah. Like, yeah, it kind of is. So, but again, neckbeards, incels, very, very cross about having to play as a woman. They wanted to play as their man fantasy. And because reading comprehension or general comprehension is at an all-time low, if a fantasy is not in the form of a white man, then the entire point of it is missed.
Yes.
I would love it if, as a fan of Halo and Gears of War, if we could do something like that, and if they could have done something like that in a less ham-fisted way. Next week, there'll be the Xbox thing, and they're going to show Gears of War E-Day, which is a whole game based on the E-Day thing that we already talked about 15 years ago when the game came out. And then Gears of War 5, it was a story about the indigenous costs, the costs of war. It was about indigenous brown people in a martial society forced to live under the rule of a martial capital. It was rather interesting. And it explained the origins of the Locust Queen. It was rather interesting. And the connections to the main character. It was very interesting. And then they ended it on a cliffhanger. But then everyone was like, hey, this is, again, too woke. Who cares about indigenous people and brown women? And they said, and then they moved on to they interrupted that story right in the middle of it, and now we're getting Gears of War again, playing as Marcus and Dom again, and yeah, it's I would love.
I didn't even know they were alive.
They're not, Marcus is old, Dom is dead. He shot himself in the head. In a hallucination. He shot himself in the head after I think he was captured, and then when he came out, he killed himself. Is very dramatic in that Gears of War stupid Cliffy B epic games type of
yeah
way.
I swear to God he was dead.
Dom is dead. Yes, Dom is dead. Marcus is old. His son is alive. You could have gotten his son killed in Gears of War 5. It was a branching narrative, so you choose one or the other. I chose Marcus's son because Marcus's son was effectively a cop. I didn't care. I'm sorry, Marcus. So yeah, all that to say, again, I appreciate the God of War pivot to catering to fan desire while also maintaining the integrity of their original narrative by pivoting to a character who have an excuse to have a celestial rampage of fun and violence.
This is honestly a test because they're like, yeah, we took you on an emotional journey through male healing. And I was like, I'm glad that men are experiencing feelings to a narrative. And I'm glad that the narrative is good. I'm still extremely salty over X number of years of absolute bullshit.
I mean, Kratos being an absolute fucking murderer.
Yeah, murderer. Just all around general abuser.
Yeah, he was a real villain.
Yeah, he was not great, and like people missed the whole like actual villain point.
Yeah, he was the actual villain of the original trilogy. The rage turned him into the villain. That was the point of the story. And I believe if David Jaffe, I believe he created this. He's a right-wing incel himself. So I don't think he knew the point of his own story.
Yes, he is.
Because the way he talks about it, he didn't know that Kratos became the villain of his own revenge story. And the acknowledgement, just the fact that the new writers were like, hey, Kratos caused the Dark Ages, murdered millions. And he's acknowledging that. And David Jaffe's response calling that soft. And I'm like, that's the character you wrote and the actions he took. I hope you're single or at least divorced, because you wrote this you created this character and greenlit these scripts. They're just acknowledging what you did. They're not changing anything. Kratos did that because you told him to do that. And upon acknowledgement, you're having a fit. Again, I hope you're single or at least chained to a radiator with a phone. So, I think we, unless there's something, is there anything sticking out? I think we might have.
I don't remember. But this is all like very exciting to me, and I'm
No.
I'm gonna play my first God of War game since like the first one.
Oh yeah, no, this one I'm excited to play. I'm excited. There's a chunk of games being pushed to September because of terrible fear of Grand Theft Auto, and rightfully so. Control, Ace Combat, Onimusha.
I'm so hyped for Ace
Wolverine.
Combat.
Yes, I am as well. I was raised on Ace Combat.
Do you know how traumatized we are? Bandai announces an AC game. They're like, yeah, another AC game is coming. We're like, yes. Armored Core 6 sequel. Yeah. Oh, Ace Combat. Right. We've played these games before. You do this. This is what you do.
And to be clear, when Armored Core came out, the last big release that came out like 2 years ago, people were saying AC game coming out, and I was like, "Ooh,
We do this to each other. It's what we do to each other."
And I'm like, "Oh, we're not," and I was like, "Oh, we're not." And then it was years. Like I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Ace Combat," and I was like, "Why?" And because the thing about it is Bacon likes Ace Combat and Armored Core, so sometimes
Bacon eats no matter what.
Right. So I'm like, cool, but I was like, man, and to be clear, the last Armored Core game is superb.
It's still going.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. My algorithm is tuned to nonsense, carefully tuned to nonsense. So I will still get PvP tournament streams of the last Armored Core game. They are still having tournaments every Friday. They are still streaming it. I am still getting the VODs. I'm still looking. That shit is fucking insane. It's one of those things where it's so terrifying that I don't want to play the game. I have
play the single player. Just play the single player.
I understand what you're saying, and that is the thing. It's so
you also have to play single player to unlock multiplayer.
Oh, I understand. I have no doubt that any of these folks playing each other have unlocked everything they possibly can in the entire game. But I'm just telling you as a casual observer, Armored Core at its highest level is one of the most terrifying games I have ever seen. It's wild. It's almost like, so you get to create your own character in a fighting game, but you get to essentially customize your own arms, legs, knees, thighs, hips, shoulders, chest, stomach, both eyes, both nostrils, and teeth. And I'm like, well, that's a lot to then learn the nuances of this character, given the parameters that are always changing and you're constantly changing it. That's terrifying to my brain. Impressive to watch, by the way. I've watched several of them. Beautiful to watch.
But but again, in order to get to that point, you have to play the game.
I don't want it.
No. I'm saying it's actually very linear. Like you can't even unlock You can't even like play against other people until you play through and unlock the stuff in the game.
Oh, I understand. Yes, I have no doubt.
And they start you off with baby steps too. They're like,
I
okay,
understand.
cool. So here's what this is. Here are these parts. Here are these mechs. You actually fight the mechs that you get the parts of. Like first,
Absolutely.
so there's a lot of like by the time that you get the parts and you're building the mech, you already have it in your head. You already know.
Oh yeah, I understand all of that knowledge, all of that that's happening. Again, you're an Armored Core player. Justin's an Armored Core player. Everyone here is an Armored Core player. Take it from a civilian. I'm on the ground. Like, I don't know if there are civilians in Armored Core games. Maybe they're represented by little pixel guys waving their arms.
There are civilians, actually. That's part of the narrative.
Yes, so I'm one of those people. So it's like, if I don't know how
I'm sorry, you're dead now.
Fine. I own that.
That is the narrative.
I accept that. No, that's cool. I accept that because I'm like, oh, I can't possibly fathom how big those giant robots are. And then I've died. Apparently, canonically, I've died before I even finish the sentence. I accept that. And it's impressive. It's an impressive skill set, impressive dedication, really beautiful. I thought you meant Ace Combat several dozen times before I had to accept you meant Armored Core. And now we mean Ace Combat?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Also, if you pre-order, you get Ace Combat 0.
For what it's worth, the way you feel about Armored Core is how I feel about Ace Combat.
Yes. It's a sad thing. We got to start using our words as a society.
Like that is the exact same way I feel. It is a beautiful game. Narratively, it hits all the buttons that I want it to hit. I will never play it because no.
Right. No, I understand. And this Ace Combat is going to have a nuanced PvP suite with a battle pass. And I'm a little confused. I don't buy Ace Combat for that, so I don't give a shit. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's a weird one. But I might go online and play some Ace Combat PvP. We'll see how it works out. All these games coming out. Control Resonant coming out in September. So yeah, everything is coming out.
There's also a bunch of cozy games coming out. I know Field of Mysteria is getting an update.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
I mean, I literally sent it to you.
Oh no, not that. But yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. I think we can do no more.
That's okay. But remember, there's no games coming out.
I mean, I don't want to go on this rant because like it's a whole other thing. There's a whole other rant. There's a whole other thing. Microsoft puts their games out on every console. Sony doesn't quite. Sony acts like every game is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So people actually believe that shit. Every game, for the most part, comes out on PC or Xbox or PS5 or PC and PS5 or PC and Xbox or Switch 2. Every game comes out everywhere. It's a small percentage. But some people in the Sony ecosystem truly well and do believe that there are no games out unless Sony is dictating what games to play. And therefore, it's something like Game Pass, which gives you access to at least 10 playable games that you might enjoy that you wouldn't have found otherwise through their service, on top of the other games that the first-party games that they have. And they see no value in that, but they're very comfortable with waiting for the 4 games Sony tells them to play. And then they act like those are console exclusives. Like, even out of all the games that they announced at the State of Play, I believe only 3 of them were Sony exclusives. And, well, so I don't want to start this rant because we have to wrap up the program reasonably.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We must, because I need to be a human and adult, and we can always have this conversation because as Microsoft tries to rebrand, people want it to focus on exclusives when exclusives don't make any money.
Exclusives aren't a thing anymore.
I understand that.
There haven't been exclusives.
We gotta do the air quotes. We'll say exclusives, air quotes. Don't make any money. And also, if you are labor conscious and sensitive, if your game comes out on every platform and gets released multiple times over the course of a year and some change, it gives you a chance for your release to be tuned, retuned, re-released, and spruced up. Decreases the chances of your studio being disbanded by your soulless corporation floating in Earth's orbit. It's one of the major reasons why I don't give a shit about exclusive games, because exclusive games failing usually means the studio is collapsing. So,
yep.
Right. So I would much rather whoever is making fucking South of Midnight compulsive games release South of Midnight once, then release it again a year later in a perfected state. And it's sold pretty well across 2 platforms, more than enough for there to be a sequel, and at least for them not to be dissolved. And that's all I fucking care about now. Access to games during our oncoming fucking recession, and whether studio game developers get laid off, and the chances of me being
Is Compulsive Games owned by Microsoft, or are they just being
They are-
published by Microsoft?
they are owned by Microsoft. South of Midnight is South, right. So I'm like understanding that any game developers owned by owned by one of these big publishers designed to put out console exclusives for one console, they're on a tightrope. They have to sell these games in a very small window, and the timing might be off, and you can't quite tell when or how. And then you put in jobs at risk. I'd much rather my games come out everywhere. Personally, just to know that developers getting second and third swings at the plate. They deserve that. These games are beautiful. They're works of art. And people banging in the drum about exclusive titles lost a thread. If that's why you're buying consoles, don't let PC people hear you. Holy shit. They own every game, buddy. They own every game.
PC is a platform.
Very funny. I was wondering when Sony, I was kind of like, you ever been a kid and you realize a teacher might end class without giving out any homework, or they might not give that quiz they were talking about because they're going overtime, might have forgotten something. You don't say anything. You're like, we got 4 minutes. If nobody says anything in 4 minutes, we can get out of here without getting a quiz. When Microsoft was kind of circling, and they're definitely going to put out a hybrid PC Xbox machine. So it's going to be a PC that has an operating Microsoft OS on it or whatever. There's a possibility. I was like, if it's a PC and an Xbox, then wouldn't it play PlayStation games too? And I was like, let me not say anything. Maybe I'm the only person in the world that's come to this conclusion. And let me say nothing until it comes out. Maybe Sony won't notice. They paid Bungie $4 billion for whatever the fuck. So Sony's been compromised in ways we can't quite fathom. So let me see if they notice. And they did. They pulled all their single player first party titles off of PC, and then they're going to be exclusive to PlayStation, which I don't think will work as well as they think. Especially with the new consoles all looking like they're going to be about $1,200 because OpenAI owns all of our RAM chips and therefore collapsed several arms of the computer component and creation industry. And we also don't have any money. We are in a recession, even if no one wants to say it. So I don't know if relying on a console games to sell your upcoming unit is the play. But hey, what do I know? I'm not even wearing any shoes under here. So
I mean,
we're gonna have to because this is a thing. I feel very strongly about this. I feel like there are weird. In general, we have fallen back into arguing about everything like we're 15. Every major talking point about everything is made from the perspective. It's like all of a sudden we're all 15. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about gender. Girls should do this, boys should do that. We're talking about game. Console exclusives are all that matters. We're talking about sports. Oh, that guy's flopping. We have lost sight of the nuance of the things that we partake in to such an extreme, we all sound like children yelling at each other with talking points that are 15 to 16 years old. It's driving me up the wall across the board. I think I despise all fandoms. And it's very important that you don't let me get all 6 Infinity Stones. You have to stop me, Bacon.
I mean, I don't know what I'm trying. What am I supposed to stop you for?
If I get all 6 stones, you just have to stop me.
I mean, I can't stop you from buying games.
I'm not gonna buy games with the 6 Infinity Stones.
I'm using it as an example.
I know, I'm not. You just.
I'm just like, once you made your mind up about it.
Yeah, don't make me.
I can't. I can't really do much. I mean, I can give you my opinion, and wherever that goes, it's about there.
That'd be a hell of a superhero movie. It's like, all right, so and it's about ultimate power, and you go, hold on, Aaron, all right, now sit now. Have you thought about it this way? Yeah, no, I'm tired of the discourses or I get why. We're faced with very simple, very large, very immovable problems that are considered too large for our society. A lot of the mechanisms and smoke and mirrors, things that we use to distract ourselves and each other, are kind of stripped down bare. We don't have any mechanisms of distraction. So we take out all of our aggression on things that we can affect and see. So entertainment is a thing that is in front of us, being served to us daily, constantly. So we then abuse that because what are we going to do about America being run by an oligarchy as we descend into fascism, while we have Americans being pulled off the streets and corporations are robbing us blind and housing costs are skyrocketing and the price of oil is flying out of control and we're at war with Iran and we started it.
Are we still at like, I don't, is it a war?
We are still currently, we have literally fired, we have bombed, we struck one of their islands and then they struck one of our bases. And we do that where we're like, we're going to get a deal done, where Trump and the administration goes, we're going to get a deal done. And then Iran's like, no, you're not. And then they go, shut the fuck up, Iran. And then they fire a missile at something. And then Iran fires a missile back. And then we go back to
my favorite part about and they're firing on our bases is, I'm like, what people don't realize is that those bases, even though they're technically, quote, our bases, they're actually shared bases with whatever country they're in.
Right.
So yeah, Iran is like attacking, like, it's not really just our troops. Like, nobody's happy right now.
Right.
And this is like the most pointless shit ever.
It is very pointless. As a result, gas is extremely expensive. I live under the shadows of the oil rigs in Texas, and it's still pretty fucking expensive. I can't imagine how it must be like in Seattle.
I don't even want to think about it. All I can tell you is that the World Cup is here right now.
Well,
Iran and Egypt are playing in Seattle.
Oh man, that must be full. It must be chaotic in the streets.
They're actually playing. I think it's on the 26th because it's on the 26th, and the Pride Parade is on the 28th.
Oh, that's gonna be so gay. Oh well. I mean,
it's gonna be a real interesting time, that's for sure. I was on the light rail today, and the light rail had like messages, basically welcoming people for soccer, and they used soccer, and I was very confused on what was that. I was like, why are we talking about soccer? And I was like, oh fuck, it's the World Cup. And then I looked at the schedule, and I went, oh, the first game starts on the 6th. They're all coming here, and it's also June, which is Pride Month, and it's Seattle, and Seattle's real gay, and so there's events all month long. So the next follow-up message that they had with the new happy AI voice on the link rail train was Happy Pride Month right after Welcome to Soccer.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be real interesting for sure.
You might be one of those soccer players with the nice butts, but that's neither here nor there. That's a total aside, unrelated to fandoms, the state of the world, nuanced conversations, the city of Seattle, AI trained voice narration, the World Cup or Pride Month. Happy Pride, everyone. I think we're gonna have to do it. That's it. Shutting it down. Thank you guys for listening, and have a pleasant day.
Go ahead, stand